Solving equations by multiplying or dividing decimals. What has 6 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. Solving equations by multiplying or dividing decimals. We're going to be solving one-step decimal equations involving multiplication or division. The Indiana Academic Standard is 8.3.1. Write and solve linear equations and inequalities in one variable, interpret the solution or solutions in their context, and verify the reasonableness of the results. Example 1. Dividing to solve an equation. Every day, the school cafeteria uses about 85.8 gallons of milk. About how many days will it take for the cafeteria to use the 250 gallons in the refrigerator? We're going to start with a word formula. The daily milk consumption times the number of days equals 250 gallons. X is going to represent the number of days because that's what we don't know. The daily milk consumption is 85.8 gallons. So we're going to substitute that into our equation so that we can start it. X is our number of days, that's our variable, which equals 250 gallons. So our equation is 85.8x equals 250. We start by trying to get the variable by itself. We're going to divide both sides by 85.8. On the left-hand side, 85.8 over 85.8 cancel each other out, and you're just left with x. On the right-hand side, we have 250 divided by 85.8, which is a rather long decimal of 2.9137529137529. Well, we're talking about days, so we're going to end up rounding that to the nearest whole number of days, which is 3. So the school will take about 3 days to use 250 gallons of milk. Pause the video at this time if you need more time to copy down these notes. Don't forget, you have to have a question recorded. We'll be discussing it in class tomorrow. For example 2, we're multiplying to solve an equation. Solve negative 37.5 equals c over negative 1.2. To solve this equation, we're going to multiply both sides by negative 1.2. When we multiply, be sure to write it up beside the fraction and beside the other number. It doesn't get written underneath. And our best bet is to put them in parentheses. You can use dots, but parentheses is probably a better route to go, especially since we're dealing with decimals in our problem. On the left-hand side, negative 37.5 times negative 1.2 equals 45. On the right-hand side, the negative 1.2's cancel each other out, and you're left with c. So our solution is 45 equals c. You can substitute that back in the problem to check it. Does 45 divided by negative 1.2 equals negative 37.5? Yes, it does. So we know that we have the correct answer to this problem. Pause the video at this time if you need more time to copy down these notes. For number 3, we're going to be multiplying to solve an equation. A Little League player was at bat 15 times and had an batting average of 0.133. Break, try again. Multiplying to solve an equation. A Little League player was at bat 15 times and had a batting average of 0.133, rounded to the nearest hundredth. The batting average formula is A equals H over N, where A is the batting average, H is the number of hits, and N is the number of times at bat. Use the formula to find the number of hits the Little League player made. So we're going to use the formula A equals H over N. Now remember, A is the batting average. So since we know the batting average is 0.133, we're going to put that in for A in our formula. Now we don't know the number of hits, but we do know the number of at-bats. The Little League player was at-bat 15 times. So our equation that we're trying to solve is 0.133 equals H over 15. We're going to begin to try to solve this by multiplying both sides by 15. On the left-hand side, we have 0.133 times 15, which is 1.955. But since we're talking about actual number of somebody hitting the ball, you can't hit the ball a partial number of times, so we're going to round this to the nearest whole integer, which is 2. So the Little League player made 2 hits. Pause the video at this time if you need more time to copy down these notes. Don't forget, you have to have a question recorded. We'll be discussing it in class tomorrow. For quick check number 1, you paid $7.70 to mail a package that weighed 5.5 pounds. Write and solve an equation to find the cost per pound. The way we're going to figure this out is if you take the number of pounds the package weighs times the cost per pound, it's going to equal the $7.70. So that's our word formula. We're going to let C equal the cost per pound. Now we're ready to substitute in what we know and solve for what we don't know. The number of pounds of the package is 5.5. The cost per pound is what we don't know, so that's our variable C. And that all equals the $7.70 that you paid total. So 5.5 C equals $7.70. You're going to divide both sides by 5.5. On the left-hand side, the 5.5s cancel each other out, and you're left with C. On the right-hand side, you have $7.70 divided by 5.5, which is 1.4. So the cost per pound is $1.40. Pause the video at this time if you need more time to copy down these notes. Don't forget, you have to have a question recorded. We'll be discussing it in class tomorrow. Try all 3 problems on quick check number 2 and try quick check number 3. Pause the video, work them out, be sure to show all of your steps the correct way, then start the video again and check your work. If you don't have everything shown exactly the way I show it on the screen, you need to erase and redo it. We'll be checking on these tomorrow in class. For number 2a, you're going to multiply both sides by -6, so r equals -3. For 2b, we have s over 2.5 equals 5. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2.5 to get the variable by itself. So then we have s equals 12.5. For 2c, we're going to have to multiply both sides by 4.5 so that we can get our variable t by itself. So -80 times 4.5 is -360. Pause the video at this time if you need more time to copy down these notes. Don't forget, you have to have a question recorded. We'll be discussing it in class tomorrow.